We live? There we go. There we go. How's everybody doing? Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Oh, we got people here already. All right, let's see. Oh boy, it is. I got the heater on. It's 41 and windy. I don't even want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. I want to go fishing, and it's in the 40s. Hey, Metal. Yeah, Bennett's done for the rest of the regular season. Colin Barkov is back tonight. Why'd they even put him in? I told Paul to let him sit the rest of the way. Why'd they even put him in? Damn it.
Bennett is day to day. He'll be out for the rest of the season.
Yeah, I seen that. I'm reading that now. Yeah. So Bennett's likely out, but he's expected game one. Sturm will return in the next game likely, and Cooley will play one of the final two back-to-back games. So Fossey has Rodriguez, Pulviarvi, Verhage, Lundell, Lucerne, and Marchand, Asplin, Boquist, and Samo, and Greer, Nosik, and Gadjevich. Yeah, we're really we're definitely not tanking for Toronto, right? No, we're not tanking at all. That doesn't have Barkov in there though, so I wonder what is Barkov supposed to be back tonight, or because Travassi doesn't have Barkov in the lineup there. So Mikola Jones, Kiersted Schmidt, Megna Balinskis, Bob and Net. Hey, Kenneth, how you doing? Enjoy your free win tonight, Kenneth. Enjoy your free win. First line is what you expect to be. Yeah. Well, hey, look. No, Megna's good. He's solid. He's solid. Ryan, let's go Panthers tonight. I don't think that's going to happen tonight. I think Toronto would be highly embarrassed if they lost to this roster, right? And we got Bubba and Net just so that we could pretend to be trying to win. Is that how it's going to be? We'll be okay. We'll be okay. I wonder what's wrong with Bennett. I mean, not that I want him to play or anything. Reinhardt, forget about it. Just let them both sit. Yeah, Pulviarvi had a little bit of juice there. I hope Samuel gets a night or two off, at least one night. Lightning are 2 points behind the Leafs. Jeez. And the Lightning and Leafs play tomorrow, right? Yeah, because but the Leafs have a game in hand, right? And Ottawa's, it's 98, 96, 92, and 90. So Panthers aren't catching anybody. But we're definitely gonna we just let Toronto win tonight, because you let Toronto win the division and let Ottawa pass us. Taylor says, every day I tell myself, how much worse can it get? Or who else can we lose? And then boom, Bennett. Let's hope history repeats, because this happened last year with Bennett, then came out on fire. Well, Maurice did say if it was the playoffs, they'd be playing. So I'm happy Bennett's getting the time off. Honestly, I don't know why we're even putting Barkov back in. Yeah, exactly, Trey. Why is Samo on the third line for the Charlotte Checkers? Oh, no, maybe it's about time on ice. Yeah, Checkers versus Leafs sleep stream tonight, right? Trey says, dog, I'm dropping Mackey if he's playing 3L. I don't have time for this ish during the championship. He still the only guy that, they gave the goal to Lundell. I wouldn't drop him. But that's just me. Fossey would said you would bench Swaggy. I don't think he wants to bench Swaggy until he gets a goal or two. I don't think he wants it to appear as though he's like punishing him. That would be my guess. That would be my guess. What a weird end to this season. What a strange, strange way to end this season. Mm-mm-mm. What were those lines? And then without Sturm, too, right? Lundell, Lusteron, and Marchand. Yeah, under no circumstances. I wonder where they're going to put. I guess that must be our third line when we're healthy, right? Lundell, Lusteron, and Marchand. That's probably our third line when everybody gets healthy. Asplin, Boquist, and Samoskevich. Good grief. Oh, man. They'll be okay. Trey says, yeah, I'm dropping Mackey for Matt Oliver. Don't say I didn't tell you. Don't say I didn't tell you so. That's okay. And when Mackey gets a hat trick tonight, I can say I told you so. Kachukka says, if we don't win again, we actually could play the Caps. I don't know. We're not that, I mean, I don't know. Let's see. Canadians have 85 points. They've got 5 games left. We do need to win a game. But we have the Sabres. We just got to beat the Sabres. Taylor, you see Barkov on your betting lines for the game. I don't know why they're putting them back in. Strafossi says I would rather have my fingernails pulled than watched tonight. Yeah, I understand that. Hopefully we do well in the playoffs. Hey, Eric. That's a good question, Craig says. Now that the Cats' plan of tanking is out, do the Leafs and Bolts start losing too? I don't know. They play each other tomorrow, right? So if Toronto wins tonight, that still puts Tampa 4 points out. And at that point, you might see Tampa say, we're not interested in the division. They'll take second place. And then it'll just be a matter of if we could trick Ottawa into winning their games to jump us. Or you could stream a goalie tonight, maybe like your son. Yeah, Trey, there you go. Ryan says Vasilevsky is better goalie than Shesterkin. I absolutely agree there. Yeah, if Montreal wins out and we lose out, we play the Caps. Yeah, eliminate them in the first round, right? Meadow says since March 11th, the Panthers are tied with the Sharks for the least goals scored with 24. Yeah. Hey. Holy moly, that's a stat, Metal. Jesus. That's pretty bad. Yeah, all you Lightning fans are rooting for the Panthers today. That's right. The Senators are playing the Jackets. I think they played them 2 times in a row. Sure says, I want you guys to beat the Leafs. Me and my team could be 4 points out for third. But I'm fine with that. No. You can have third. Y'all take third place. All right? Tampa's easy. You want to play Tampa. Vasilevsky's old and broken. You want to play Tampa. Trust me. Absolutely. It's who you want to play. Kuchukin says, what if Calgary wins out and jumps Edmonton? Edmonton can't lose out, can they? Where are they? Oh, man. I don't know about that. Edmonton would have to completely just tank. I mean, we know that they're capable of losing 10 straight. So there is that. right? But no, I don't think Calgary's going to pull that off. Do the Oilers and Flames play at all? No. I don't see Calgary being able to win that many games in a row. Would I like to see us re-sign Marchand? I don't know. He hasn't even scored a goal yet. I guess I would answer that question after I've seen him play in the playoffs with our guys. But I think he's going to want to get some money somewhere. Yeah, I could play on the first line tonight, Shafasi. No doubt. No doubt. Julian says, let's keep losing. No injuries, please. The full lineup that hasn't played in a while will do better against the Leafs compared to the Lightning. Yeah, Metal says, no, Marchand doesn't want to be here. Nirmac, no, let's get younger. Right. So real quick, there will not be a members podcast today because once this is over, I will be posting a community post. Paul from the locker room and I started a whole nother channel with a podcast called Puck Blockers. So that first podcast is going to be out 1:30, 1:45. So I didn't want to release a members podcast and the first podcast on the new channel at the same time. So I will post a community post to this channel and give you guys the link to the new one. Eric says, why scared Tampa this year versus Tampa last year? Panthers wanted us last year. Why not this year? I didn't want us last year, Eric. I didn't want us last year personally because I don't trust Vasilevsky. Panthers have enough trouble scoring. And last year's Tampa team and this year's Tampa team, not the same. Not the same. Ryan says, I want Florida Panthers to get my revenge. Yeah. Steven says, Tampa has plus 74 goal differential. That worries me. Yeah, no doubt. Hey, Simon, how you doing, bud? No fishing. We're under a freeze warning tonight. It's going to be 30 and windy. It's 40 and windy now. So that's going to knock the fishing back by a whole extra week at least. Because it's going to be cold all week. Julian says, I think I'll lose my mind that Sammy is out playing Swaggy. Makes me want to trade him so we can keep Bennett. Keep in mind, besides Barkov, Swaggy is your favorite player. Well, no move clause. Swaggy ain't going anywhere. That's unfortunate. I mean, it is what it is. Maybe he'll pop up for the playoffs. That's all we can hope for at this point. Kenny, you got 4 inches of snow? Jesus. It's April 7th, man, or 8th now, right? Yeah. It's absurd. Eric says the Battle Florida Epic round 1 fight again. No. My fantasy imaginary road to the finals for the Panthers is beating Toronto in the first round, and then Ottawa beats Tampa, but Omar gets hurt in the last game. So then we beat Ottawa. And since Montreal eliminated the Capitals, then they have to play the Devils because the Canes choked. And then the Eastern Conference Finals is the Panthers versus the Devils. And no, there's no hockey reason behind it. That's my imaginary easy path for the Panthers to get to the Cup Finals. All right? I says, we ain't winning any more games, too banged up. Yeah, exactly, Ethan. I don't want anything epic until the finals. Just calm. Oh, you're talking about Verhaeghe, Julian? Oh, I'm sure. But he's got a no-move clause. Kenneth. Panthers lose the Leafs end of season. Has any Stanley Cup champion, here's a question. Has any Stanley Cup champion been eliminated in the first round by a goalie that was on the Stanley Cup champion team the year before? Kenneth. Yeah, Julian, they gave him a no move clause. No, Nearmac, no. We talked about this. That's what I thought too. But when they gave him the extension, they added a no move to this year. Yeah. When they gave him the extension, they added the no move to this year. I guess you're allowed to do that if it's part of an extension. So we can't do nothing. Simon says, are we going to do any Western Conference games like the Winnipeg or Edmonton series? If time allows, we will. It depends on how fast the other series go too. But if time allows, we will. Because I think some of the Western Conference series will be more, make for better television than like Devils and Canes. Colin, yeah, oh yeah, since it's on ESPN tonight, right. Kenny says, we want the Sharks. No, wait, we got swept by the Sharks. Yeah. Stars, Avs, if we can, if we can fit it in time-wise. Like, because those games, they start so late. That's the only problem. I can't completely run Kyle into the ground, right? Ethan says, knock on wood, but if we get knocked out first round, who am I rooting for? Well, I'm still hoping Montreal beats the Capitals. That's the other part to my imaginary fantasy land. But if Florida got knocked out, boy, I don't know. On one end, obviously, there's a lot of Lightning. There's a lot of Lightning fans on the channel. On the other hand, although, see, I kind of feel the same way, though. Like, if we got eliminated, I'd probably root for Tampa to go on a really, really long, brutal run so that they're tired next year. Simon, I actually went to the gym this morning. I actually made it to the gym this morning. I've been up since 5:30. I actually got up with the alarm clock today. This cold weather is kicking my ass. I don't know, Kyle. Kyle went to the sauna last night. We have a home sauna, so he works out in there sometimes. Hey, Jeff. Says too many injuries. What if they make it as a wild card? If we make it as a wild card and we get Toronto, then that's honestly, that should be the plan. Just don't tell anybody, right? I says to lose in the playoffs is one thing. To lose in the playoffs to the Leafs is another. That's so bad. I think we should give back the cup. Oh, man. Greg says Cap so Ovi can retire on top. I don't know if they've got it. I to be honest with you, obviously I would pick the Panthers, but anybody else from the East against like Colorado, Dallas, Vegas, Winnipeg, maybe even Edmonton, I would probably pick the Western Conference team. Most of it. Ethan says, I usually root for whoever knocks us out so they can win the whole thing. Makes me feel a little bit better about losing. Yeah. Sfosh says, Caps are are beatable. The Habs can beat them. I think it can. It's all up to Monty, though, right? Hey, true. Eyes. No, I think Ovechkin's got another year, maybe 2. Let me see. I know he's not a free agent. He signed a 5-year deal, and he's on year 4 or 5. So next year is his last. Next year is his last year of the contract. So you would kind of figure he'd retire after that, but who knows? Right, says, I wish I was going to the game as a Lightning fan to cheer for the Panthers. Yeah. I don't think there's much chance of Toronto losing this game. Right? But who knows who wants what? Right? It's like, I'm sure Toronto wants to win the division because they want home ice. Sure. That would seem obvious. But after that, which team would rather play which team? They'll never say it. But the idea that the teams don't care, I don't buy it. I don't buy it. I just don't. In the locker room, behind closed doors, there's no way that these guys don't care about the difference between playing Vasilevsky and Stolars. I'd never be convinced of that. Jeff says, how long? Bennett's out till the beginning of the playoffs, and Reinhart is just basically rest until whenever they decide to put him back in, which might not even be till the beginning of the playoffs. Run with the King says, Ovi's like Yager. He doesn't know when to retire. He might just keep playing. Kazuma says, so it's looking like we're getting Tampa. No home advantage. I don't know. I don't know. I think Ottawa's going to pass us. Ethan says, you think Kachuk is blowing up the group chat, right? Shafasi says, why are we playing Bob tonight? It makes no sense if we have our whole AHL team. I would think that we're probably looking at, you got to play him tonight against Toronto for appearances. If you play Vanacek tonight against Toronto, then you're really, really like just tanking for literally the integrity of the division. You got to play Bob tonight. Everybody else has kind of been dinged up, right? And then if you play Vanacek against the Wings and Sabres, I would give Vanacek next week. I don't know if Bob's going to do it. Or, the next 2 games, Thursday and Saturday. And then you play Bob against the Rangers. And then Vanacek the last game of the year against the Lightning. But, Bobrovsky, he likes to play. He doesn't like to come out. Throw Kokkinen out there. Yeah, Ethan, good point. Kenny says, imagine everyone Panthers don't care, then Tampa don't care. Leafs clinch the number 1 seed. Right. Pretty much. Nearmac, you said, I thought Barkov, Reinhart, and Forsling are in tonight. That's not the lineup that somebody told me about up above. But I don't know why we would play those guys. Somebody up above near Mac had dropped the lineup, and none of those guys were in it. How is Kokkinen doing at the AHL? That's a good point. Let's see. Huh? Let's see. Or is he? Oh, let's see if I can find his stats. He's never been on the Panthers roster, so I'd have to go to Charlotte. Let's see. Team roster. Where are we? How's he doing? Let's see if he's even playing. He's played 9 games in Charlotte. He's got a 906 and a 239. So he's been playing since he got there because it's not even been that long. That's interesting. Ethan, you said you heard Barkov's back for some reason. Yeah. Well, Simon, they already clinched a playoff spot. In terms of what position we're going to be in, I don't think we're going to know that to the last game of the year. I honestly don't think we're going to know that to the last game of the year. Shfashi says Barkov is back. Why even put him in? Damn it. Why even put him in? Don't make any sense, man. Oh, well. Colby reported it. Kenny says, if we win both games, next question, can we pass Washington? Then the Panthers get the Caps. I don't know. What are you guys at? 98? No, wait. Is Washington, is that 107? Yeah, no, you can't pass the Caps. You can only get, I guess if you got 6 games left, you can get 110 points. The Capitals would only need 3 more points, I think, depending on the tiebreaker. So they do have to win a couple of games if you guys won completely out. And then if we got the wild card, we would end up maybe playing the Capitals. But then you guys would get the Canadians. Hey, Cade. I guess they're reporting that he's back. I don't know why. Why not let him rest, right? Chris says we're going to be all right, not panicking. Well, no, I don't think. I agree. I wouldn't panic. E-Ride with Jesse and Mackey could be fun. That could be fun. Yeah. Yeah, Bennett's out to the playoffs. Yep, you saw that. Which is fine. I don't, like I said, Murray said if we were in the playoffs, he'd be playing. So whatever's wrong with him, at least let him get healed up. Frosh says Forsing and Reinhardt might play as well tonight. I don't understand why we're not just resting these guys. Or are we just trying to make it sound good for Toronto? Like, why throw these guys out there? Let them sit. I was so happy with the fact that we were letting them sit. So if it's a might play, just maybe it's just to make it look good, like we're not tanking on purpose, Patrick says, Pride. I don't know, man. We got the cup. Chris says, my biggest concern is Chucky. I feel like he will be pretty rusty coming back. If he comes back. I don't know about him coming back. If he's not practicing this week, he's not coming back for the playoff or first round of the playoffs. Craig says lineup has Gus and Schmidt as the top D pair. Well, there goes that. Oh, well. That was nice while it lasted. I thought we were going to be smart with these guys. Like that was the best possible move, man. Just leave them all off the ice. It just don't make any sense. Maurice sometimes is so stubborn. You know? I wonder if he got a call from the league. I wonder if he got a call from the league and they said, hey, you can't just take the whole roster off the ice. Jones, Mikula, second pair, right, and then Megna Belenskis. Damn it. There's no reason Forsling needs to be on the ice right now. These guys all played in the Four Nation. Forsling, Barkov, Reinhardt, Bennett. They should be off the ice. We're not catching Toronto. They don't want to play. It's just stupid. Yeah, exactly, Strafasi. Give Maurice the night off. His brain is broken. Damn it. I mean, maybe we'll get lucky and they'll just rest them both of those second back-to-backs, like just sit everybody. Maybe this will be the last game we see most of those guys. Frustrating. I was so happy that we had decided to do the smart, right thing. And now it sounds like he's going to undo it. Damn it. You know? It's like getting promised cheeseburgers and you come in the door and she's like, well, we didn't have any buns and we didn't have any cheese. So I made meatballs and spaghetti. It's like, that's nice. Thank you for the spaghetti and meatballs. But I've been waiting for cheeseburgers all day long with the buns and the mayo and the onions and all this shit. And now I got spaghetti and meatballs. I don't want spaghetti and meatballs. I want cheeseburger. Damn it. Strafasi says we never make anything easier. That's for sure. Ken says, remember, no one talks to Bob on game day. Bob got on the ice for practice and didn't recognize the team and complained. Now, somebody made a good point here. Nearmax says fans paid good money to see these guys play. I mean, that part I can empathize. I can understand that part for sure. Meadow says, what's frustrating is that we put in more effort in some of the games we should have won or had a lead in. We wouldn't be in this position. We had a 4-point lead in the division and totally choked it. Patrick says, got to throw the league off the scent of tanking for Toronto in round one. Right. Yeah, sit Zito, sit Stanley Panther. Yeah, we did blow a lot of leads. They can't handle complacency. I mean, we saw that against Edmonton, right? We know that. They can't handle complacency. They gotta have the stress. What I want to really know is when are we going to hear that Tkachuk is practicing again? And I don't mean skating around before practice. When are we going to hear that he's practicing again? Tkachuk says, I'm telling you, we started this slide when Pomo changed his glasses. I didn't notice that. Huh. I did not notice that. So then if they put these guys in, who comes out? Well, hopefully they leave them up. Mel says if we held the lead against Boston, New York, LA, we'd be tied with Toronto. Yeah. Kenneth says, sounds like Leaf fans are going to take over the arena tonight. Panther fans are not interested. Yes, that is. Oh, I mean, I'm interested. You guys are interested. But the only reason you guys are going to be watching tonight is because you know Kyle's going to be bitching and complaining and probably get drunk. Simon, I don't expect many wins. We got 5 games left, or 4, 5. 5. I think we might win one more game. But we don't know what's going to happen with the Rangers and Tampa those last 2 games. We might win a game or two, but it won't be because our guys are out there playing playoff hockey. It's going to be because, the Sabres suck or the Rangers will be eliminated or Tampa won't need the points. It's important that we let Toronto win tonight, because if Toronto can win tonight and then Toronto can beat Tampa tomorrow, then they'll have the division, and then that'll make it so that Tampa doesn't need the points. No, that doesn't work because we want Ottawa to pass us, so we need Tampa to need points that last game of the year. Cade. Nirmac says would they have traded for Marchand or Rental if Chucky's not healthy enough for the playoffs? That sounds about right. That was one of the things I think most of us kind of thought when it happened, was that is kind of a little bit of Chucky insurance there. He's obviously not Kachuk, but kind of like Lundell Barkov insurance. David says, I quit drinking 10 years ago so I can at least get drunk vicariously through Kyle. Yeah, we're doing 3 games in a row this week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. He's gonna be a blast. Minecraft streams from Kyle. Don says, yeah, I noticed since the start of the season that Pomo has new glasses. Dude has worn like at least 3 different prescriptions. Huh. Ethan, yeah, agree. It could be a very weird game against Tampa. It could be very weird. I'm sure they want us. So both teams could legitimately be in a position that they would be better off losing. But under those circumstances, I trust Cooper to do the right thing, and I trust Maurice to do the stupid thing, which would mean the Panthers would purposefully win that game and draw Tampa. Absolutely, that's how I feel that would go. I'm not even reading that on Adonis. No way. We are not trading Mackie Samoskevich. Under no circumstances can we trade Samoskevich. You're talking about a guy that's going to get being paid $2 million next year for 20 plus goals. We got to have that. We've got to have him on the team. And that's my thought, Craig. He says Chucky may not even play the first round if he's not full on skating by now. Yeah. Like, I expect to see him in practice this week, or just forget it for the first, for at least the first few games. And I say it again. If we can't we're not beating Tampa without Kachuk. If we can't beat Toronto without Kachuk, we're not beating Tampa in the second round anyway. That's my theory. So, but if it's dicey, if he's still feeling it to the point where he can't skate, it's like, what are we talking about? He could be out another month, right? I mean, he could legit be out another month and not even come back to the middle of the second round if we get that far. Hi, do we plan anything special if Swaggy scores? I might just pass out. I think what we'll do if Swaggy scores is we'll ring Chucky's bell for him. Yeah, I like that. If Swaggy finally gets a goal, we'll ring Chucky's bell for him. I think that sounds right. I'm just scrolling down to the bottom. Nirmac says we just beat Tampa recently without without Chucky. What I mean is the 7-game series. I don't think we're beating Tampa in the 7-game series without Kachuk. I mean, I could be wrong. It's just what I think. Right. Fly Guy says, Paul said, Chucky, will be playing for the Panthers again this year. I did not take that as in the cup run. I was worried about that wording too, Fly Guy. I was like, it's 2025. That sounds like, you know what I mean? You know, it's October 2025. I said he'd be playing this year. Swiggy score sounds like a drinking game. Kate says if we beat Tampa, it's going to be through luck and Bob. Yeah, puck luck is not something we've had any of. That's the other thing. The complete difference between last year and this year. I mean, don't forget, for the most part, we went through the whole playoffs healthy. Like we had that one little bit of time we were missing Bennett. And I think that was it. We might have lost Lundell for a game, but I might not be remembering that correctly. And I know all the defensemen just completely were healthy the whole time. I don't think we lost any games with our top 6 defensemen on the ice last year in the playoffs and the cup. I don't think we did. Fly says we just need to shut down 3 guys, Cooch, Gensel, and Point. Well, yeah, but that's like saying they just need to shut down Barkov, Reinhart, and Kachuk, or Barkov, Reinhart, and Bennett. And then you got Vasilevsky. That's really the biggest reason why I'd rather play Toronto is goaltending. Yeah, keep an eye on Hedman and Hagel. I mean, Tampa's got guys. They've got depth. Hagel's been a pain in our ass. Thomas says, yeah, we lost only Bennett for the second half of the Tampa series, and it came back second half of the Boston series. Yeah. Samo, yes. Boquist hasn't scored a goal since January 25th, I believe. I'm going to make sure that I got that right, but I don't think Boquist has scored a goal since January 25th. Where's the game logs? Jesus. January 25th. Since January 25th, Boquist has no goals and 1, 2, 3 assists. He's got no points in the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 games. No points in 13 games. We already did extend Boquist, Patrick. We already did. Zito gave him 2 by $1.5 million. Boquist is scratched tonight. That's good. Well, he can play, sure. He can play, but I mean, you got to have some kind of points, right? You got to have some kind of offense. Center and both wings totally by himself. That's interesting that they're giving Boquist the night off. Michael says, are we really criticizing basically our AHL team in the NHL right now? No. You think Boquist is better than Erod? Yeah, I can't agree there. I can't. I'm not based on what though? I mean, are you Boquist? Is that you, Jesper? Thanks for watching the channel. I mean, You go over his career, Boquist's goals are 4, 4, 10, 10, 6, and then 12 with us this year. Right? Not the end of the world. Not terrible. I mean, he may be a guy that we keep instead of Rodriguez, but that's a long-ass slump. For long-term keepability. Yeah, Jesper's younger. Yeah. Yeah. Kenneth says the Panthers are just testing how powerful their playoff switch is this year. That's about right. Yeah, I mean, we are literally just depending on just boom, done. Playoffs immediately. Maurice has been moving him around everywhere. I mean, but that's kind of what Rodriguez does too, who he hasn't scored in a while either. Right? Good question. What happened to Maxon Mammon? I believe he went to Russia. He went to Russia when that whole thing went down, and I believe that's where he stayed. Let's see. He hasn't played in the NHL for anybody else, and he is over in Moscow. CSK Moscow. He's been playing there since he left us. So he had 13 goals, then the next year had 19, and then this year he's got 13 goals again. So yeah, he went over to Russia. That's where he was playing before, and then we picked him up, and then he wanted to go back home to Russia. So it sounds like Patrick says he's probably finding the Ukrainians by now. It shows he's still playing. I believe that's this year. Yeah, 24-25, 61 games, 13 goals, 13 assists. That's a big dude. He was big, right? 6'2", 206. So he was a big dude. Michael says he liked the KHL better. He said, yeah. Michael says he must like the random bags of cash to throw games they get in the KHL. Do I think Sturm can be our Stenlund replacement? I did for about the first week. He's not as dynamic. The question is, can we win a cup with Sturm? Is he what we would want to pick as our final answer at 4C, give him a contract? Maybe. I mean, I wouldn't want to overpay for him. When you think about how much money Stenlund got paid and then we lost them, I think I want to see Sturm play in the playoffs. Yeah, now the face-offs, yeah, for sure. Anthony says, Jaws, outside of Tampa and Florida in the East, I don't trust any other team because of their track records. That's about right. That's about right. Yep. Michael says, we'll know everything we need to know about Sturm at the first playoff series. He hasn't played one game with our whole lineup. Yeah. Craig says, Matt, depending on the playoffs. That's kind of where I am right now. Anthony says he's sticking with his prediction for the finals from the beginning of the year. It's going to be Colorado, Florida. I am sticking with my prediction for the finals from the beginning of the year. It is going to be Nashville, Florida. Yeah. David says, if you grew up in a small village somewhere and liked the country life, I can see going home to Russia. Yeah, big difference between there and Florida, right? You know, it's not like he got picked up by a Canadian team, you know, living in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, Bolts, you got the job done beating the Rangers last night. Good job. Now, stop winning. Just stay right there in second place. All right? Just stay right there. You guys are going to enjoy a nice series playing Ottawa. Take your time with them. No rush. We'll be over here with Toronto. All right? We'll get you in the second round. Y'all blow some of that energy out on Ottawa, okay? Take some of that frustration from not winning in the first round a couple of years. Take that out on Ottawa. We'll see you in the second round. I want nothing to do with Tampa in the first round. Kenneth says, President already clinched their spot in the final. I hope the Panthers can make it. Yeah, final something, that's for sure. What did Fly say about Sturm? You say you think he knows why he pursues players, right? I mean, you might be right. You might be right. It wouldn't shock me at all. It's not like I'd be disappointed if we re-sign Sturm. I don't think anybody's going to be Stenlin. Not. I mean, Sturm is good. The face-offs, that's good. But in Sturm's defense, Sturm, Lomberg, and Cousins wouldn't be so bad either. Yeah, he says he's got a big folder on every NHL player. Yeah. Badgers, and I'm just hoping we beat Toronto just to see Dangle turn into Yelly Screamy Man. What we need is an overtime Marchand goal to eliminate the Leafs. That's really what we need. I think the entire hockey world would like to see that. Well, they all hate us. I don't know. Michael says the reunited Nosek line has had the best eye test in this slump, and also not the worst numbers, not the best, but good enough. Yeah, it's just Nosek wasn't cutting it in the face-off circle. Patrick, yeah, that's perfect. What's Sturm's face-offs with us? Let's see. I know that over the course of his career, he's been fantastic. I'm just seeing if he's still been doing it with us. No. So, all right. So I'm going to read you guys a stat. And this explains why some of us are on Sturm. Listen to this. His face-off percentages have completely gotten better over his years. When we picked him up this year with San Jose, his face-off percentage in San Jose was 62.7. Okay? In the 11 games with us, his face-off percentage has been 44.7. About 7% worse than Nosek. And that's probably why some of us are like, 44.7 Sturm has been with us. That's bad. Kenny says likely the jet lag. Michael said, okay, Nosek better. I mean, I'm willing to give Sturm the, but I think that's kind of why some of us have kind of been like, I don't know, we're not feeling it. I guess that answers that. He says, well, you think it's because you played more games with San Jose? Well, you would think it would be better with less. You would think 62% to 44% is a pretty big drop off. Like if you want to look at like in 21-22, he played only 21 games with Colorado. His faceoff was 54.6. Right? So he's got 11 games with us. Is 44.7. What's Nosix? Let's see. Let's go to Nosik. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like Sturm. I just think he hasn't been his best these last few weeks. Nosik is at 51.5, which is almost a duplicate of what he did last year in New Jersey at 51.9. Now his numbers have dipped from their highest, but so we'll see. What aside, Fly Guy, just NHL.com. Oh, shit. Hold on. Hold on a second. What the hell was that? I don't want to step on that. Just NHL.com. Your tiki is sticking. David, yeah. I agree about Dallas. Boy, my eyes are so bad, man. Cats fans not sleep on the boats. No, I'm not sleeping on him. No, he's supposed to be good on the PK too, right? Yeah, Nosik has been, above average, right? But I think they got stirred. And look, we needed a guy anyway, right? So it's really not a complaint. We needed another guy on that fourth line to come off the bench. So Nosik, Sturm, I'm sure they're probably both going to play. But Sturm has definitely had a drop-off since. But it's not like he suddenly sucks. It's just he's not had a great 11 games. Russell says, "Hey, Josh, since we lost last night, you still say we're good, that we can win the next game?" I think St. Louis is. I have a feeling St. Louis is going to be making a run. I mean, you're getting hot at the right exact time. You know you've got the goaltending. And it just depends on who the only problem with being a wild card in the West is getting the Jets or the Knights. If I'm you guys, I'd rather have the Jets, even though I know they beat you. Vegas, I'd be more concerned about Vegas than Winnipeg just because of their history. Vegas knows how to put together a run. Fly says, "I think Sturm said that face-offs are basically his thing that he focuses on. I think he will improve, and he's in good position a lot. He just hasn't finished as well as Stenlund, and his face-off percentage should improve." Oh, it definitely should. I think it's just a small sample size, and that's why it's not like he's not killing it every night. So he did the first couple of games. Like, in fact, I think if we look at Sturm's game logs, I think like the first few games, he was really, let's see. They don't have face-off percentage in the game logs. That sucks. I'll have to find another site for that. His time on ice has gone way down too, a little bit. Oh, that's San Jose. I see. Yeah, they don't have it. This site anyway doesn't have the face-offs in the game logs. So I'd have to dig a little bit deeper for that as we're getting ready to be 1:00. Michael says Sturm has good feet, is quicker than Nosik, and does Barkov like steals. Nosik skates bigger and hits harder. I want both for a versatile fourth line. That's what he did originally, Michael. That's what he did originally, was he put Nosik on the right wing those first few nights that Sturm was in. I actually liked that. And that maybe that's the playoff plan. I actually thought that was a good idea. I didn't think about it when we got Stern, but I like when Maurice did that. Meadow says none of the new guys have really been impactful. Well, Jones, because of Ekblad out. I mean, Jones has made a difference, all things considered. Yeah, it definitely adds depth. Yeah. All right, I got to roll. So listen, like I said, there will be no members podcast today. In about 45 minutes, I will be making a post to the community board on this channel. Paul from the locker room and I started a brand new hockey channel. It's called Puck Blockers. We've got our first podcast out today. So I will be posting the link to that new channel at about 1:45 once the first video is up. And then we'll be back to normal tomorrow with the podcast and the noon stream. We'll see you tonight. We'll see you tomorrow night. We'll see you Thursday night. Everybody bring your own booze so Kyle can get drunk. And we will see you tonight